Sabalenka sharpens her edge ahead of Australian Open bid. World number 1 Aryna Sabalenka believes an unconventional off-season, packed with exhibition matches and tactical experimentation, has left her primed for another deep run at the Australian Open as she chases a 5th Grand Slam title. While many top players opted for rest after an exhausting 11-month season, Sabalenka chose competition. The Belarusian featured in exhibition events in Atlanta and New York before stepping into the spotlight against Nick Kyrgios in a much-debated battle of the sexes match in Dubai, a schedule she says paid off. The 27-year-old carried that momentum into the new season, lifting the Brisbane title by blending her trademark power with added variety, serve and volley forays, softer hands at the net and improved point construction, elements she hopes will prove decisive when the Melbourne Park Major begins on Sunday. "I had a great off-season, so I was really recovered and ready," Sabalenka said Friday. "I played extra exhibitions, but they all made sense. They were good matches to test things I'd been working on during the preseason." Though she admitted the Atlanta and New York exhibitions left her drained, Sabalenka said brief recovery windows helped her reset before Dubai's high-intensity clash with Kyrgios. "By the end of the preseason, I felt strong and ready," she said. "That match against Nick was also part of my preparation." Sabalenka's title defense last year ended one win short of history, as Madison Keys stunned her in the final to deny her a 3rd consecutive Australian Open crown. "The loss," she said, "still lingers, but no longer defines her mindset. That final was tough. She played incredible," Sabalenka said. "It took me some time to recover, but I worked on my mistakes afterward. Coming into this Australian Open, I'm not focused on last year. Of course, I just want to do a little bit better." Despite being positioned alongside Iga Swiatek as a leading favorite, Sabalenka insists the women's draw is far from a two-player race. The top-ranked Belarusian and Poland's Swiatek, who share 10 Grand Slam titles, have dominated recent seasons, but Sabalenka sees a crowded field of contenders. "It's not only about me and Iga," she said. "There's Coco Gauff, Elena Rybakina, Jessica Pegula. There are so many great players and great rivalries." Consistency has underpinned Sabalenka's rise. She has not failed to reach the quarterfinals of a Grand Slam since 2022, a run she attributes as much to mental balance as physical preparation. "When it's match day, I'm fully focused," she said. "But on off days I disconnect, go for a walk, go to dinner. It helps me feel fresh and ready the next day." Sabalenka opens her Australian Open campaign against French wildcard Tyansoa Rakitomanga Rajana. Swiatek, still seeking her first final in Melbourne after winning the French Open, US Open and Wimbledon, begins against Chinese qualifier Yuan Yu. Sabalenka, forging a champion's edge. Aryna Sabalenka's name is synonymous with power, presence, and relentless pursuit in the modern tennis era. As the world number 1 arrives in Melbourne ahead of the 2026 Australian Open, set to begin January 18th, she does so not by chance, but by design, a meticulously sharpened athlete, fine-tuning her craft after a season that blended brilliance with a touch of unfinished business. Sabalenka's bid for Slam glory is more than another title defense. It is the continuation of a narrative defined by evolution, both on and off the court, shaped by deliberate preparation, strategic risk-taking, and an unyielding mentality. Her journey into this year's first Grand Slam has been nothing short of compelling. A season built on intentional preparation. While many top players elect for rest after long seasons, Sabalenka took a different path, one rooted in competitive sharpening. Rather than retreating from the rigors that define elite tennis, she leaned into them. During the off-season, Sabalenka didn't simply train in isolation, she sought out match play in unconventional formats. She entered a series of exhibition matches, in Atlanta, New York, and even a high-profile battle of the sexes against Nick Kyrgios, all designed to test her adaptability, stamina, and shot-making under crowd pressure. To an outside observer, exhibitions might seem extraneous, but for Sabalenka, they were tactical experiments. They allowed her to hone aspects of her game that training sessions alone couldn't replicate. Serve and volley adjustments. Finding rhythm in unpredictable rallies. playing against varied styles beyond standard tour competition. Her approach embodied a rare blend of daring and discipline, embracing challenges that many would avoid on the cusp of a Grand Slam. Brisbane, a catalyst for confidence. If exhibitions were her laboratory, the Brisbane Internationals served as the proving ground. In Brisbane, Sabalenka's game lit up with intensity and precision, culminating in a commanding title defense. She won the tournament without dropping a set and beat the talented Marta Kostyuk in straight sets in the final. This victory wasn't just another trophy. It was evidence of a sharpened edge, power fused with tactical maturity. From her serve to baseline aggression and court positioning, Sabalenka displayed a level of control that suggested she was peaking at the right moment. She also dispatched top opponents en route to the title, including a straight sets win over Karolina Muchova, showing that her form wasn't just strong, it was intimidating. For a competitor who reached the Australian Open final last year but fell just short of the title, Brisbane served as both confidence builder and cautionary lesson, proof that she could dominate, and reminder that execution matters even more under slam pressure. The craft behind the power. Sabalenka's game is often defined by raw strength, booming serves, heavy ground strokes, and relentless aggression, but her evolution lies in nuance. This season, she has woven strategic refinement into her natural power. 1. Tactical versatility. Sabalenka has blended pure pace with tactical variability, employing slice, serve and volley patterns, and drop shots to disrupt rhythm on hard court. This added sophistication signals more than brute force. It's a matured approach that values point construction and adaptability. 2. Mental balance. A tennis match, particularly at a slam, is as much psychological as physical. Sabalenka has emphasized balance in her routine, full intensity on match days, and thoughtful downtime off the court to reset mentally. She's spoken candidly about the importance of disconnecting from competition between sessions, allowing her to return fresh day after day. This mental routine is not a small detail. In a sport where psychological resilience often separates champions from contenders, this focus on refreshment and readiness is a defining piece of performance preparation. Rivalries and respect. Entering the Australian Open draw, Sabalenka is in a field brimming with threat and opportunity. Stars like Iga Swiatek, Coco Gauff, Elena Rybakina, and Jessica Pegula loom as formidable challengers. Sabalenka understands that her journey won't be solitary, nor linear. She's acknowledged that the race for a slam is more than just her versus one rival. It's a gauntlet of multiple elite contenders, each with unique strengths. This humility and respect for the depth of competition underscore her preparedness not only to compete, but to adapt and thrive.